The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
You're watching the Retirement Halftime Show. I am your host, Alexander Joyce, and of course joining me is Alex Clark. Alex, we always like to take time and get our viewers' questions answered, right? They call in, they email, they have questions, and we always encourage our viewers to keep the questions coming. So at this specific moment, we like to get those questions answered. What are some of the questions we have?
Yeah, the first one we've got is Julie from Carmel, and she would like to know, am I okay pulling 5% annually from my IRA?
Sure. Julie, that is a good question. I'm sure you're probably familiar with the 4% withdrawal percentage, and how that works is basically going back in time. What they've done is they've said if you pulled out 4% as a withdrawal from your overall portfolio, indexed for inflation, the likelihood of you outliving your money is very unlikely. There's been a lot of research and a lot of study, especially in today's economic conditions, where there's an argument to say if that's true or not true. But without speaking with you directly and having a one-on-one visit or a consultation, the first thing I'd want to know is your age, right? Making sure we're past that 59 and a half mark to make sure that you wouldn't give back 10% of that distribution to the IRS, being that there is a penalty for a premature distribution at or before 59 and a half. The second thing would be making sure that you're understanding the tax consequences for that withdrawal, okay? We want to know a little bit more about your overall situation. I've always said that when someone starts coming down the mountain, if you will, and they're at the point where they want to start taking a distribution, we need to better understand what the income foundation is in terms of if you've got a pension, understanding what your Social Security is, understanding if there's a way to maximize those benefits. We also want to understand what your lifestyle is. So if your income foundation is 30 or 40,000, and your income or your lifestyle equals 80,000, well, clearly we have a 30 or $40,000 gap. So we want to make sure that we're filling that gap the best we can. Making sure that expectations are managed and make sure that we're goal-based planning as opposed to just shoveling away 4 or 5% from that pile of money. We'd like to look more at a holistic plan, if you would. So I hope I answered your question, Julie. What do we got next, Alex?
Next, we've got Tom from Greenwood. And Tom would like to know, what are 3 retirement strategies I should know?
That's a great question, Tom. One of my favorite places, right? Greenwood. I think we've had some great success there. So one of the things, Tom, that you should know is there is a million strategies, okay? And it's really hard, again, just like Julie, it's really hard to define, if you will, what strategy best works for you. But here's what I can tell you, okay? From general financial planning or planning one-on-one, the first thing we want to look at is your Social Security, okay? So that's strategy 1. Depending on your age, of course, we want to look at strategies to look at reducing taxation if there are, look at the provisional income, which is your earned income plus half of your Social Security and your tax-exempt income. Of course, taxation on Social Security is 0, 50%, and up to 85. So we want to look at that. We want to look at your marital status and see if there's ways to maximize those benefits, give you good advice in terms of that. The next thing we want to do is we want to, which is probably the most important thing, right? We want to make sure that our risk adjustment is in line with your overall risk tolerance, okay? The way we do that is by running proper analysis in terms of stress testing the portfolio, running Monte Carlo analysis to make sure that the probability of you outliving your money is very, very low, slim to none. We look at past historical events of what's happened in the overall market compared to how your portfolio is positioned. So we want to make sure there's asset allocation, diversification, correlation, of course, is a big piece of that. Asset allocation, as we mentioned. And the next thing we want to talk about, strategy 3, is, of course, as you age, we want to mitigate the sequence of return in overall risk tolerance on longevity. Okay. Having said that, RMD on your qualified money and so on down that road. So Tom in Greenwood, I hope we answered your questions. As I said, there's a million strategies. Those to me would be the top 3 without knowing you. I hope we get the opportunity to shake your hand. Alex?
Alex, those were all great questions, and we look forward to more coming in.
We do. And so what I would recommend is keep the questions coming. If you've got questions about your retirement, if you've got questions about the three strategies, or when you or if you should take 5% or 4% and how it relates to you, don't hesitate to call. We look forward to hearing from you. Stay tuned, there's more show to come.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
I'm Alexander Joyce, President and CEO of ReJoyce Financial. If you're in retirement or near retirement, with all life's changes, it never hurts to get a second opinion. Managing expectations is the foundation of a prosperous relationship. Our goal is simple. We want to get to know you. So pick up the phone and make an appointment for a complimentary visit. There is no cost, no obligation. We simply want to get to know you and see if we can add value to your life in retirement. We can discuss topics like income planning, sequence of return risk, taxes, and estate planning, Social Security maximization, and much more. Let us help you develop strategies that can develop a successful retirement. If you want to know more about successful retirement strategies, then call now, schedule a visit, and let us help you rejoice in your retirement.